Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. Midoriya doesn't mean to hurt your feelings. When he calls you annoying, it's really just something that comes to his mind without him meaning to. He's in a bad mood. His thoughts are all over the place, and most of his anger is directed internally at himself. But it feels like that anger is boiling and boiling. And when you just happen to come and talk to him, he's already had enough and he lashes out at you. You're really annoying, Goyan. Can't you ever just let me be alone? It's not so hard to understand, he says, glaring at you, before realizing what he had actually said. And he barely hides a wince, not really knowing what to say or how to behave as he sees you. The way your eyes are close to tears, already wet with them. And then, as he reaches out to touch you, to hold your hand and make you stay, you're already gone. He knows you messed up, and it was a great deal to you. His words are, after all, very important to you, just as your words were always important to him. And he knows he was being awful saying something as hurtful as that. But he will do his best to fix it. He will even bring you a gift and write you a letter, an apology in it. After all, saying those words, he couldn't bring himself over and tell you, looking eye to eye with you. But you best know that he will certainly apologize a lot as soon as he sees you again. He just needed to write you something to make sure you know he's sorry before you could see him once more. And next time when he's angry and he feels like he won't be able to control his own emotions, he will tell you in advance, just so you can stay away from him and leave him be, as you should. After all, he doesn't think you deserve to be treated like that, or should have to stay with him when he was angry. He knows you can calm down well enough on his own. Todoroki Shoto. Sometimes Todoroki thought he was too much like his father to hate him, or perhaps too much, that he starts hating himself as well. It disgusted him really, the similarities between the two of them, in appearance and sometimes behavior. It disgusted him really and he wanted to stay far away from the similarities, to be as different from him as possible. But Todoroki associated anger with envy, and that's why, when things went bad, when he got angry, he felt extremely disgusted with himself. And after a phone call with his dad, he's trying to avoid you from those feelings lurching in his heart. But then you go and talk to him, and he calls you annoying, telling you that you're always bothering him, that you can't do anything if you're always trying to get in his space. And then he sees the hurt across your face because you were only trying to help, trying to see what was going on, what was wrong so you could help him and make him feel better. And it turns out to be all a waste in the end. He tries to talk to you then, to apologize, but it's too late. You leave him be, telling him if he doesn't want you around, then you're more than happy to leave. And it just so happens that he stays there alone, wondering if he will ever be different from his father, if he will ever be someone who is worth loving. He doesn't know the answer to that, and that alone scares him, as he hopes to be different, to be someone better, someone worthy of your love and affection, someone who is worthy of your time. He will do his best to be better, to try and be a good person enough for you. And the first step to that would be an apology, a good one, that will make you happy. Bakugou Katsuki. Katsuki had many issues. Anger ones with intimacy. He had an issue with almost everything when it came to emotions, and he didn't know how to process them properly. So being in a relationship perhaps came a little bit too early, considering he should be in therapy for anger. And he has not considered that yet, even though you've suggested that to him multiple times, telling him it will be healthy. And even if he didn't want to do it for your sake, at the very least you could do it to be a better hero. He still felt hesitant about it, if only because being in therapy meant you had to be honest with your emotions, be vulnerable with them, talk to someone, and all of that felt, well, it felt impossible for him. So, that's why, when you called him out on his bullshit, telling him, you can't keep avoiding things forever, Katsu. One day, you will have to do this, because you're not going to get better on your own. Even if you do, the chance that that happens is extremely rare, and it will be much slower. You have to do this. It's better for you. You keep snapping at people, at me, at your friends, and I don't think that's good for you. For us. Well, have you ever tried to stop being annoying for once? Is there a therapy for that too? He says, looking at you, and you find yourself hurting from inside. His words sharp and harsh, meant to hurt, meant to ridicule. You didn't really understand him at times. He could be so incredibly difficult, so hard to understand. And you really wanted to really see what's going on with him and why he could be like this. But right now you are angry and upset, so you leave him. I don't want to stay with you anymore. Once you're better in the head, and once you can see sense, you can come and talk to me, and you better apologize too. You say, and that's the last thing he gets from you before you leave the room. And perhaps leave his life for a few weeks, until he makes himself a worthwhile boyfriend to be with. And later on, he does realize his mistakes, and he trusts you a better person, not only for you, but his own sake as well.